Hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. It is 7:30-ish. I tried to go live at 7:30, but I was watching. So sometimes I'm preparing for the show, and as you know, I have a problem with squirrels. And as I was watching the message from Pastor Jack yesterday at my great church called Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, I started watching a little bit more than I probably should, and I went over time. But I'm going to be playing a little bit of Jack Hibbs. I know I did yesterday. This is another part of yesterday's message that I think is important to reinforce what I want to talk about today. Give the gift of courage and common sense. And man, do we need that today? Now, again, I'm not convinced it is bad as everybody thinks. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Hey, Amy, nice to see you. So happy to see you. Before I do that, just I want to direct you to the USA Patriot Project right above my head here, .com. Go there, bookmark it as I try to, right now. So, I'm going to tell you the truth. I wasn't planning on going live today because I felt, God, I have so many things to do. I'm building a gift right now for my daughter, putting together she won't see this, building she wants to redesign her bedroom. And so I'm putting together a bed frame that Hedia was so kind to find and have shipped here. And so I'm putting together the bed frame right now. And, when you're doing work like that, what I love about doing woodwork and building and putting things together and working in the yard and that kind of stuff is that is a great time to think and to process stuff and to really think about what's going on. And as I was doing that, as usual, I began to think, I go, gosh, darn it. Yesterday's message was amazing by Jack Hibbs at our great church. And then I had this program about 10 or 15 years ago that was called Fearlessly Successful. Fearlessly Successful. And the reason I created that program is because so many people are afraid to start a business, write a book, step out and become a speaker, start their own TV show, start their own podcast, because they are afraid that somebody might judge them, that somebody might call them out on their knowledge. Somebody might say, you know what, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing something else. You should be working in a factory putting widgets together. Why are you doing something that most people fail at? And lately I've been hearing like Dan Bongino, who is a great, he's a former police officer with NYPD and a former secret security agent that worked in the White House with presidents. And he started a podcast. First he ran for office, and he failed. And then he created a podcast. And the other day he said, 3 years ago when I started the podcast, well, nobody really started listening to him until about a year ago. And you think about that, you had about 2 years of hard work, right? And where you have 1 or 2 listeners, and maybe you have 10 listeners, and it drops back to 1. And this is back, I'm sure, years ago when he was trying to figure things out. And everybody has that process that sometimes you have to go through. Some people have instant success, and some people have a slower level of, or a rise to success, but you just have to simply keep at it. When I became a canine trainer and then began training dogs all over the world and got on television and helped produce shows with Cesar Millan and getting on Animal Planet and National Geographic and Nat Geo and all those types of things, that didn't happen overnight. I drove myself in my Toyota 4Runner with my police dog because the police department wouldn't let me take the police car, and I learned from the best of the best. I began to fly to Canada, across the United States and Europe on my own dime to learn from some of the best dog trainers in the world. I picked up dog crap in the kennel. I spoke about this yesterday. There's a lot of things you have to do that lead up to the success. But what will block you from doing, hey, Deborah, what will block you from doing this, hey, Dawn, nice to see you, is that if in the beginning you have fear that blocks you and keeps you from doing that thing. Right now, we're in a really different time in our, not only our country, but in our world. Yesterday, when today I was walking through the kitchen. I have what's called an Echo Watch. I think it's called Echo Watch. I think that's what it's called. Not watch, Echo Show, I think it's called, where it's a screen. And I walk in and it'll show you some of the highlights. It's communist and Marxist, by the way, because the only thing it shows you is what, Democrats want you to see, because it's run by Amazon, right? But it did show, I guess, the UK. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but the UK opened up on Saturday. And Boris Yeltsin, no, Boris, not Yeltsin. He's Russian. Boris, what's his name? Somebody help me out. Hey, Hedia, nice to see you. I love you. Deborah, I love you too. And Don, I love you too. What's the Prime Minister of Boris, not Yeltsin? Boris, somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. Boris, the guy that's in charge, the Prime Minister of the UK. He opened the UK, based on what I saw on the Echo, is they opened up for I guess for Friday, Saturday, or something like that, and everybody went right back to the restaurants. Everybody went right back to walking the streets. Everybody went right back to riding the trains and the subways and doing a bunch of stuff. As soon as Boris said, "Hey, we're going to open," they opened it. For whatever reason, based on what I saw, and again, I wasn't paying that close attention, on Sunday, they shut everything back down again, and it was like a ghost town. Oh, and that led me to all day long. Not only was I thinking about Hedia all day long, and about getting married, but I was thinking about, and I'm so sorry. I know I go back to Hedia's not here, by the way. I know many of you are probably signing on. Oh, is Hedia going to show up? No, Hedia's not here. I sent her home. Hedia is not here, but she should be. Back to the UK. As soon as somebody said of supposed leadership. Now, Boris, again, I can't remember his last name. What is his name? Boris? I should type it in Google. But anyway, whatever his name is. He opened it up and then closed it back down again, right? And there's this weird thing. And people are living in fear, right? Based on somebody's word. Like they'll be either arrested or they'll shut down the business or they will, close down the gyms again. So, oh no, we have to go back in our holes. And here you got this really weird thing going on. It was really odd, is that you had Boris saying, all right, our country's open. Everybody goes out and goes shopping. Oh, well, it must be okay because Boris said it's okay. What the hell does Boris know? Right? He knows. I mean, he's a politician, just like our politicians. And I'm glad I'm standing up because now I'm moving. But you have Boris saying, all right, everybody go shopping. And everybody goes shopping. We got to shut down the country. Country goes shut down again. And it's just really, oh my gosh. And, I get frustrated. And I got to say that there's people that are very close to me that I believe that we cannot live like this. And we will not. There's 80 million people somewhere in that neighborhood that voted for Donald Trump. And I believe most of those 80 people, if I'm not wrong, believe that we should be open back up, going to restaurants, going to country bars and dancing, going back to the movie theaters, going back to the, the hockey rinks and watching the Kings play and the Ducks play and God knows what other team you watch. There's only two really that you should be watching. It's the Kings and the Ducks. Going back to the Coliseums and watching football games. We should go back to those things. Because of this, 99.5 to 95.7% of those people that get infected with COVID-19, survive. This really is a wacky time that you have these people that are, and you can't get doctors to agree. You can't, but in the end, if you look at the science, 99.5 to 7% of the people survive. And yet we still have the media, we still have politicians, we still have a group of people, the demonic Democrats, that are causing people to live in fear. It is Boris. What is Boris? What is his name? Nobody still. That Boris is yeah. And I didn't have time to look for the video. But my God. So what I'm asking, as we go into 2021, and for me, I almost hate to leave 2020. 2020 has been amazing. It has been spectacular. It has been the best year of my life, and I know that I've seen it from messages from that rubs people the wrong way, but it has been the best year of my life. I've had COVID-19. I've lost most of a great deal of my business, and a whole number of other things have happened on the negative side of things, but on the positive, because of the negatives, far more positives have happened. And I choose, and again, it's not that Johnson, thank you. Oh my gosh, Boris Johnson. Thank you, Hedia, and thank you, Deborah. That's driving me crazy. Boris Johnson, Amy also came out. Everybody all at once it came on. And Boris Johnson and this thing. I wish I would have found that video. I'm going to try to look for it really quick here as I'm typing. UK opens. Let's see if I can find it real quick. And I'm looking at videos really quick. If you didn't see it, I'm not sure if you all saw it or not. I was socially distant venue with 500. No, that's in August. Maybe nobody wants to show it. That's one thing that I was wondering. Yeah, every video now is in August or March of 2018. UK. What else am I supposed to put in there? Boris Johnson. I want to try to find this video. Announcement. Let's try that. Wow. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, but the video was on my thing. So anyway, it showed everybody out there shopping, everybody riding the trains, everybody going back to doing what they're doing. And then the next day when they shut it down, it's like everybody went away. It was a little bit of a crazy time. But this crazy. So I'm so sorry. I got distracted by what I was looking up there. But what I'm asking is that we just need to fight. Number one, that's the first thing. We need to fight for what is right. Hetty and I spent the weekend looking for places where we could eat back inside a restaurant. We found one over here called Rembrandt's here in, and I want to say it's Fullerton. Let me look to make sure that where I want to make sure and give them credit where they're at. Rembrandt's. In Yorba Linda, and it's called Rembrandt. Oh, that's coming up. Sorry, and you may be getting a shaky video. I should not be running. I'm running a fire in a Christmas motif out of YouTube to give me the feeling of Christmas, and the fireplace is running. You probably hear the crackling. So Rembrandt's Kitchen and Bar. It's at 909 East Yorba Linda Boulevard. And right now it says it's closed. What happened, Hedia? Did they close? Did they get shut down by the sheriff? It says it's closed. What the heck? It's 7:00. Maybe they're closed for the holidays. But we found Rembrandt's and had a great dinner inside the restaurant. It was amazing. And there's a number of others in Fullerton and that kind of stuff. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because there's so many people that are looking for those opportunities to go out when they opened the UK and said, hey, you can go out and do whatever you want. And people went out and did whatever they want. That we're just waiting for the word. We just have to get past the fearful people, the people, the beginner. And one of the things I'm wondering in Rembrandt's, who snitched off Rembrandt's and said that, hey, they're open, they're killing people. People are dying. People are nuts is what they are. People are crazy. And so we need to, for Christmas, we need to give the gift of courage and common sense. People are living in fear. Let me play a little bit of yesterday's message of Jack Hibbs talking about the subject matter, and the title of yesterday's message was weariness. That we are weary. That we have been we have been beaten down to the point that we were weary. Now, some people, when they're weary, choose to lay down and die. Right. Other people or give up or stay in their homes with a mask on inside their homes in a corner with a little blankie over them, stuck on their thumbs. And then you have people that when they get weary, they get back up and I'm going to fight. Right. They get knocked down, they get back up and they're weary, but they're not going to give in and fight. And this is the subject of yesterday's message with Pastor Jack. What I want to do is I want to play a bit of this, which really hit me in a way that was powerful. And I've been thinking about it, and I watched it again today when I was working on the bed for my daughter and putting that together. And I thought, you know what? I am going to do a Facebook Live. I am going to come on and talk to my peeps about giving the gift of courage and common sense. I don't know if you can package it. I don't know if you can have a talk with people. I don't know what it is. If you need to start a show and say, hey, quit being a wuss. Quit being a wuss. Get your ass up and fight for this country. It is really sad to see men laying down and with their thumb in their mouth and saying, "Oh, you're killing people. You are crazy. You are, you need to get back in. You're out there with those rally people. You're out there at church with 3,000 people per message over. You're killing people." Like, what? What did you say? 99.5. We have things that are killing people at a higher rate that we don't shut down the country for. We have far more people committing suicide. We have far more people, children being abused and molested than this 99.5 that's happening. Are you crazy? You guys are nuts. And I know I get so frustrated that we're living in fear of something that has a survival rate of 99.5 to 9.7. And when you get younger, it's 99.9. Right? And then the thing, oh, children are going to die. No, they're going to bring it home and give it to their old folks. No, don't be an idiot. Take care of your old folks. What are you a moron? I had that. I have a family that won't listen to me and even going to get the vaccine. I am just praying for them. That's all you can do. I mean, on some level, but at some point you got to knock them over the head and say, get your crap together. I almost said the other word. Get your crap together. What are you, big wuss? It's really more than sad. It's downright shameful. It is. If you call yourself an American, you need to have courage. You need to get your ass up and you need to fight for this country. If you call yourself an American, if you call yourself a Democrat, move to another country, lay down and die. I don't care. Right? You are the enemy. Democrats are clearly the enemy of the country. They're clearly the enemy of the Constitution. They are the enemy of the United States of America. And I've been saying that for a very long time. And I'm holding to my position on that issue. Democrats are simply the enemy to the country because they're hoping that they can cause enough fear and confusion and weariness that people will lay down and give up. And we will not. We won't. As long as I have Hedia by my side, I will not give up. As long as I have my children, I will fight for them so that they don't learn from a wimpy dad. I am not a wimpy dad. I have no plan to be a wimpy dad. I have no plan to live in fear. I have no plan to turn in my man card. You guys have men, stand up. The women that are on right here are stronger, braver, more courageous than so many men that I've experienced lately. Even men that I used to at my old church. At the old church, I've experienced on my Facebook page. The women are stronger than some of the men that I used to call friends, many of the men that I used to call colleagues, many of the men that I used to call, call upon in a men's group and look at them and go, well, what are you, crazy? I'm voting for Biden because Trump is just such a mean person. What? Idiots, morons. All right, so here we go. I'm going to play a little bit of Jack Hibbs here. Let me bring him up to the screen. He just says I love Jack. Jack is an amazing pastor. And if you're not following him at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, you should be. All right, so here we go. Let me play a little bit of Jack Hibbs here.
And the Bible tells us here that men will not come to God because they love their sin, so they stay in the dark. And the Bible says that you're living in a state of confusion. And how do you break it? You wonder why you're weary. How do you break that? God is saying to you today at this Christmas season, you don't need to be weary in that anymore. Confused. I thought I'd throw this in just to get in trouble. This next thing. You've watched this world this year unfold on your TV? Where's all the rioting? What happened to that? What switch was thrown? Where's Antifa? Where's BLM Incorporated? Where are these things? They're sleeping in today because everything went their way. And yet, listen to me carefully, lest you come to the wrong conclusion. Satan loves to confuse people. And those people are wrapped in confusion. The demonic powers that are manipulating them behind that world, in that dark, invisible world, find access. They've yielded to that dark, sinister anger and hatred and whatever it is. When I read my Bible of incredible accounts in Scripture where there are people who are not only confused, they're demonically empowered, and God's great intervention can deliver them. Can you imagine today if God were to clear up the minds of Antifa and BLM, listen, and people, judges, congressmen, senators, attorney, you name it, he can do it. But because those things have gone rogue, and you and I are living in a world of, we don't know what's up next. Mask or no mask? 6 feet, what's up? Now what? Now shot or no shot? Are you kidding me? You know what I found out this week? You want to talk about a world in confusion that plays into weariness? To get some relief from being weary, if I get a vaccination, do I have to wear my mask after that? Answer, yes, you do. Then why get the shot? But wait, there's more. What if I had it? You know, it, whose name shall not be mentioned. If I had it, why do I need your shot? Because having it is stronger than the shot. No, that doesn't work. You have to have the shot. Why should I get the shot? So you'll be vaccinated. Against what? It. Question. I'm not kidding. Can I get it again if I get vaccinated? Answer, we don't know. Seriously. I'm being serious. Listen, if a vaccination works, hallelujah. If you don't know what it's going to accomplish for me, you can't tell me. You're the expert. You know what that causes? Confusion. And do you know what confusion causes? Weariness. You ain't got no answer.
Love that guy. Wow, I love that guy. And yes, they just will beat us down if you allow it to happen. We being conservative Christians, conservatives, whatever you want, the brave, the courageous, those with common sense, we're allowing ourselves to be beat down by the weak, the fearful, and those that want power. You have those that want power who are not that weak. The number of people that are in power, Schumer, Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, a few others. Some of them are pretty stupid. You got the guy that just got with the Chinese spy, right? Having sex with this Chinese. He's not that smart. Swalwell, right? What an idiot. You have Adam Schiff, who's really not that smart. He's an idiot, but yet they're kind of deceivously smart. So you have them, you have those, and then you have a weird amount of people, a very strange amount of people who look to those tyrants as leaders. And it is very odd, but it tends to be the fearful. It tends to be the uneducated. It tends to be people that you thought were educated that are not so educated. They're naive. They're weak-minded people. They're fearful people. And we're getting controlled by the weak-minded, fearful people for the most part, because without them voting for those few that are in power, we would not be having that problem. In the middle, you have us. You have us. And we have been asleep. We have been asleep at the switch. We have been the silent majority, which is stupid. We should no longer call ourselves a silent majority. We should no longer be the people that think, we're not going to say anything because we don't want to upset people, because we have that. That is part of a little bit of a flaw in some Christians, is that they don't want to upset people. God did not want us to be weak. God does not want us to be fear. Jesus Christ was not fearful, and he was not weak. When you go back to the times of Christ, and before and after, it was an incredibly dangerous time. I showed a picture of, you're walking in sandals, right? You're walking into a place where they want to kill you if you bring up anything other than following the teachings of whatever, right? The multiple gods, even the Jews, right? The Jews were angry that you claim that Jesus Christ was the Messiah, and it's just so many things, right? It was a very dangerous time, but you had people standing up and saying, I don't care. I'm Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that we have a Savior. I believe that he died and rose again. I believe that, and I know by saying that I'm going to die. You have some very brave, confident people that whatever happens, right? It was worse than COVID, right? What's worse than COVID is claiming you're a Christian. What's worse than COVID is claiming you're a Christian in China. What's worse than COVID is claiming you're a Christian in Africa, in many of the countries in Africa. What's worse than than COVID is claiming you're Christian in some places in the Middle East. You'll be hung, you'll be stoned, you'll be burned, whatever. I don't know. They will be tortured. A large number of things there. And here we are, conservative Christians in the United States of America, and we want to be silent. And we don't want to say anything that's going to rock the boat, right? Now, what is wrong with you people? Those of you, not all the people that are watching here, not all my friends that are commenting, but what's wrong with all of you? What's wrong with my Christian friends from Yorba Linda Friends Church? What happened to you? Those of you that voted for Biden, what happened to you? You're voting for a party that believes in killing babies all the way up to the 9th month of birth and late-term abortion. Why are you doing that? Why? It makes no sense. And again, I could go on with a large number of other policies that you are supporting as a supposed Christian that are not Christian based. What happened to you? Where did this weakness come? Where did this fearfulness come? What happened to you? Stand up and fight. This number is nothing. It is totally ridiculous that we are closing down our country, closing down our businesses, closing down our schools, just living in a very crazy world because a few lunatic, demonic tyrants want control of this country. Our country is being controlled by a very few amount of people that are literally some of the dumbest people on the planet. If you were to look at Jill Biden's a paper that caused her to be titled a doctor or allowed her to be called a doctor, whatever you want to say. Have you looked at that paper? She is as dumb as a rock. Dumb as a rock. You look at Joe Biden's history. He did nothing on his own. He plagiarized his speeches. He's tried to become president a couple times before, but he wasn't able to because of the plagiarism, because of the lies, because of his weaknesses as a leader, as a politician, and it really amounted to nothing. Voted for things that were poor for our country and voted against things that would have improved our country. He was part of the most corrupt administration in our country's history. The Obama-Biden administration is being known as one of the most corrupt administrations in our country. And that's who you voted for, my friends over there. And you guys know who you are. There's a few of you that I've pointed out that I just can't vote for Trump because he says things and his tweets are horrible and I can't do it. Yeah, that's how they talk. If you're wondering. Absolutely. So please, for the love of God, for the love of our country, for the love of our Constitution, for the love of our world, please give the gift of courage and common sense. I don't know how you do that. I'm going to try to figure it out. But I know that I talk to my children all the time about courage and common sense and doing the right thing and loving police and loving firemen and loving our military, understanding that the country that they live in is one of the most giving countries on the planet. It is the least racist country on the planet, that our police are not systemically racist. That is a lie. That is a myth. They are not. That I think compared to almost any other a business or job you could have, that we have built in so many rules and regulations and oversight that it's not impossible, because they're always going to have some people getting through the cracks, that it is difficult to simply be racist in the police department. It is not easy. I worked 21 years at Anaheim Police Department. I have trained police officers all over the country, and I can tell you that I cannot even name on one finger how many times I've seen racism. I know it's out there. I know that people use words. I know that people say things, but to arrest somebody just because they were black, just shoot somebody just because they were black, to whatever, just because of somebody's race. I have not seen it. And I know, and I got cops watching and say, well, Andy, listen, there's things that are said. We talk about bikers, we talk about Hispanics, we talk about Asians, and there's words that we use, and we know our world. If you ever watched All in the Family, it is like that. You have All in the Family, which was a TV show, a sitcom in the, was it the 60s? Or no, it was the 70s. It had to be in the 70s. That Archie Bunker spoke like most people speak. It's one of the most popular shows at the time. And was it racist? Yes. But were people dying because of it? No. I mean, really, it's you got to understand that some of the most racist people are black people. Some of the most racist people are Hispanics. Some of the most racist people are Asians. Really, the least racist people probably are the white people or the Caucasians. Strangely enough, if you've ever watched a comedian who is white, you would never hear him say the N-word. You would never, today, you would not hear him say, wetback. You would not hear him say spick. You would not hear him say a whole bunch of words. But you have the other side, right, of things where you have black comedians that say the N-word all the time. You have Asian comedians who talk about Asians all the time. And so it is really a strange world that we can be beat down as Caucasians or Americans, as men, that men are systemically horrific people, that they're misogynists, that they hate women and all these things. It's really easy to say. You can just say it and you can cause people to believe it. But when you really step back and look at it and go, wow, black comedians are very racist. Black rappers, very racist. They hate women, right? Have you ever listened to a rap song? I mean, a true rap song, like gangster rap. Have you ever listened to the song and listened to how they talk about women? Nobody ever calls them out. Nobody ever cancels them, right? Nobody ever. But if a white guy says, something about I don't know, AOC is a horrible politician. Oh, racist, misogynistic. We need to cancel him. He obviously hates women because he said something bad about AOC. And we're going, wait a minute. No, AOC is just simply a moron. She's just simply an idiot. She actually probably was a poor bartender, to tell you the truth, much less a congresswoman, right? But no, now we're racist, we're misogynistic, whatever you want to say. I don't know. But but if a black person were to say something, oh, you know what? They're right. Yeah. We live in a really upside down world. So again, I'm so sorry. I went off on a squirrel there. But this is what happens when I'm sitting there building stuff and working, and I just think of all these things. Like, this drives me crazy. But please find a way to give the gift of courage and common sense, because our country needs it. And if it's your children, if it's other way, and I know you'll be canceled. I know that you have family members that will hate you. I know that you'll be fired. I know all that stuff. You know what? You just need to get over it. Get fired and find something else to do. I'm so tired of people tiptoeing around. I'm not writing something on, I believe you and I think like you, but I'm not going to write it because on social media because I'll get fired. Get fired. Screw that. Oh my gosh. I love it when I get fired up. We didn't need to read Jill's dissertation and know she's an idiot. She married a creepy Joe. Amy, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Deborah agrees too. Bingo. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Common says ain't so common. No, not at all. It's just so. And again, there's still a large number of Christian conservatives are being silent. Because we know that we've seen them at the rallies, right? They'll go to the rallies and they'll go to that, but they won't say anything. They won't upset the apple cart, as is said. There's a whole, I don't know. Everybody just is so afraid. I know plenty of Christian conservatives who tell me all the time, I can't say anything. I can't wear even a red hat. If I wear a red hat and it doesn't say "Make America Great Again," they will fire me just for wearing a red hat. I told you my son was doing something and the sign was up in the background and the teacher said, "Oh my God, you can't have that up. That's racist." We really live in a really strange world. All right, my friends, I'm going to go back and finish building the bed and putting that together. And I'm sure I won't come back on. Yeah, Orange Man is bad. Yeah, they were seeing each other while she was his babysitter. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is a true story. Hey, if you didn't watch Dan Bongino today, go to Dan Bongino and go to his podcast, go to YouTube, go to Rumble and watch his show today. Wow, the guy is coming up with some information and some stuff that you need to hear. I don't know that anything will ever, the bad part of our country right now is at the higher levels of the FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA. They got a bunch of Democrats up there that are going to do nothing about much of the stuff that's coming out. And it's a shame. It's shocking. But just to know it, just to understand it, I think gives us some power eventually as we come down the road. So go ahead and watch not go ahead, but watch Dan Bongino's show. I think that you will be enlightened and watch the last few shows. There's so much information, truth and facts that he's coming out with that is amazing. All right, my friends, I love you guys. Thank you for allowing me to come on and rant. I just had to get it out. I had to say, listen, give the gift of courage and common sense. If you find a way to do that, if it's talking, demonstrating, being an example, being a mentor to somebody that needs some courage and common sense, do that. Give that gift. I think it's important. All right, my friends, I love you guys, and God bless. Take care.